Oh, we got invited. We got to go to his broadcast. What do we do with it? I don't know how to get in his broadcast. All right, so help me decide here. So I basically have three situations. I have to put on my aces, and by I'm putting on my aces, I lose 54% hazard protection. Then it allows me to choose one of the three options: Berserk, Perfectly Unbreakable, and then a Gilligard that puts me up at takes my armor and increases my armor from 260 to 303. Mm-hmm. Uh, so what it does is drops my armor from 260 to 240 when I put that perfectly unbreakable on. You're gaining. Right. I gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. Now, so when I do that, um, the question is, I also get 7% damage to elites by choosing this perfect unbreakable because it's a bad. No. I gain that. That's a plus. So, but here's the dilemma. I'm going to lose 15% weapon damage unless I roll something off on it. I haven't rolled anything on it. It's a chess piece. Yeah, if I can find a 15%. I think. Yeah, the Badger. Yep. Okay. Uh, so I could put 25% armor on top of my 35,000. I'm gonna lose 15% weapon damage by doing that. I do. Two blue and a red. The red is 4% crit chance. I was gonna roll that. I could either roll that to 15% weapon damage or roll the 14,000 health to 25% total armor.
All right, so I'm back.
Okay.
I did. Damn it. Try that again. Says it's on air. Let me go. I don't think so. No. Let me check on. That's the broadcast. It might be a different broadcast. Hmm. Well, you know what? You're right. It's Oh wait. Maybe that's. Yeah. No, it's back. All right. So regarding, let me back up. Who was asking that question? Fade or X-ray?
Yeah, Faye.
Fade. Okay, so the question is, and this is the DirtyBomb32 channel with special guests Fade to Black and X-Ray. Uh, so the question is regarding raid builds, correct?
Correct. I
Now
have
here, let's take a
a
look.
mask.
Let me take a look and inspect your build so it's easier for me to follow along. So currently, you have a Richter or R and K mask that has 50% DTE rolled over, and
Hmm.
it has an additional attribute of 44% hazard protection. And then you got the talent hard hitting, so you get 25% DTE. So 75% DTE on the mask. The set by itself is going to give you 54 hazard protection with only one piece. Now you're asking, should you swap that out for which mask?
For um, an
And then
Ace's mask.
go ahead and put the Ace's mask on so I can take a look at that.
Let's see, I'll do that one. Which I need to roll my D to E on it. I
Okay,
could roll it on. I have another 50%er I can roll on there instead of
okay.
that 14%.
But then you lose your hazard protection.
Right. So basically, I'm giving up all my hazard protection in order for me to put my fourth piece of aces out to help my team during the raid. Okay. Um, so I need four pieces. And so I was going to change the mask out. And in turn, I'm going to have to possibly change my vest out to get perfect unbreakable. My choices are perfect unbreakable, berserk, or a Gilligard that has tons of armor on it.
Okay, so let me say this. All right, so here's what I'm gonna say. This is, and how many loadouts do you have available to use, Fade?
Oh, I got
Six
loadouts.
or seven
I
loadout
have
slots.
7 loadouts, and this is my Aces raid build. I'm trying to do a Aces build for the
So
raid.
here's what I would do. Um, I would save one loadout with the hazard protection,
Right?
and let's say put your perfectly unbreakable there. So let me switch to a build that I use for a raid. As a matter of fact, if you can pull up YouTube and watch the stream, you'll be able to see this a lot easier what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let me send this right now. Did you need me to send it to you again, X-Ray? Yeah. No, it'd probably be like a different link every single time. Okay, that's right. Okay, so you got the feed open, Fade.
I'm trying to. I can't. I don't see it on my phone. Shit.
It came in through the PlayStation Messenger.
Oh, okay. There it is. Okay.
So there'll probably be a delay of like 1 or 2 seconds, but
Okay.
I might it might sound a little slow or staggered in what I'm saying, but it'll be for the purpose of the delay.
Right.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
All right, so this is my raid build, and I have two different raid. Um, I have it saved as raid 1 and 3, and then I have raid 2 and 4. And what that means for me is the first part of like when you're in the airport on the outside, and then the third part would be the area with the plane and the purple orange smoke. And then this build right here would be for
Right.
the Boomer and then the Buddy and Lucy. So that's just, and this is where I'm going with it. It's like, so you should have one for aces and eights, and then one that's your tanky build. So like if you notice here, the 1 and 3, which is the open airfield, and then hang on a second. So the 1 and 3 open airfield, and then the purple orange gas has 351 armor and 98 health. But it also has, let's go look at the hazard protection here. I previously had it at over 100% hazard protection, but I can tell you right now that 98% hazard protection is going to be enough so that the poison gas does not affect you at all. So I switch in between rounds, and I do that just to make sure that otherwise I'd need to have my health over 100,000, and it doesn't work for me with the current build that I have, because then I gotta roll health into a slot where there's armor, and then my armor drops below 351. You get where I'm going with this, right? So this is my 1 and 3 with my 98% hazard. I'm going to use my Nemesis. I'm going to use my Pyromaniac. And then on the mask here, I got 4873, right? Yeah, 73%. No, 50? 50% DTE, 48% hazard protection just on this mask. Actually, I could actually switch this out for a Hollow Man mask. But
Right.
but then if I did that, there's something else I'm wearing right now that has hazard protection on it. Oh, this one, Unbreakable. So you can't use Hollow Man if something else has hazard protection on it. Um, Let me go back to, no, wrong one. This is it right here. So anyway, 98% hazard protection is sufficient. I'm not really using the
Hmm.
SMG, so I lose that 10% damage, but it just so happens that at the time, this is whatever I rolled, and I may have been using my Chatterbox a lot at the time. I
Right.
also get 8% critical hit damage off of the mask. The Seekers I don't use, even if I was using Seekers, it wouldn't matter in a raid because you're not really using skills anyway. Um, Whether you have Unbreakable or Perfectly Unbreakable, I don't think it really matters. I mean, obviously, Perfectly is going to give you the 100% armor, which is better than 70, but as long as you're getting a chunk of that armor back in a raid, so that you're able to be more sufficient, right? Without having to have somebody come and pick you up. And then I have the Reviver Hive, and I use the Reinforced Chem Launcher. Again, skills against the enemies are really non-existent, even though I have Spark on the backpack and I have Perfectly Wicked, which means I have to apply some type of status or damage them with a skill, right? But
Right.
I can still do that with a grenade, or I can proc Perfectly Wicked or Spark when I shoot one of their backpacks and it blows up. Something, right? It doesn't
Right.
necessarily have to be a skill of mine. Now, these are the pieces that I have put together throughout whatever to get to this point, and this is why I think it's really important to have all 12 of those loadout slots available, especially once you start doing a raid and once you start doing Dark Zone PvP play.
Yeah.
Because in the PvE, any given part of the story, we may have, let's just say, like, this was the one build, right? This is my main build. I got the TAC 50, but what if I wanted to use a different specialization? I wanted to use Demolitionist, I wanted to use a Technician or Survivalist. I could have 4 variations of this loadout alone just based off of the specialization that I want to use. Forget about taking into consideration PvP, Dark Zone play, and then raid play, right? So back to what I'm using here. This is
Hmm.
my primary raid build. I'm going to use this every single time. I may be able to switch out this vest for a Perfectly Unbreakable. So I could actually use this vest right here, Perfectly Unbreakable. I still have 11 blues. I get 10 red slots. I have one more. offensive mod slot to throw in here. And this will give me, the problem with this is I only get 2% critical hit chance. I get 52% critical 52% critical hit damage, but I'm only getting 2% critical hit chance. So that's really low. But I get 23% all weapon damage plus 33% AR damage. So let's say 56% damage when I'm using my Pyromaniac. And then I get 15% on the Marksman Rifle plus the 38% damage bonus when I use my Nemesis. I get 72% damage to elites. And then if we go down, it's going to be 68% hazard protection. So still not that bad, but it's not perfect. It's not as high as the 98, okay? But now that I switched off that perfectly unbreakable, I could probably go ahead and throw on my Hollow Man. I think the problem is with Hollow Man, I
Yeah.
drop below 11 blues and I can no longer use perfectly unbreakable, and then I got to start repiecing together something over here. Now I have another backpack that has Spark, and I have another pair of gloves that has Wicked or Perfectly Wicked. The problem is it's not going to have the exact same attributes. Like on these gloves, I got, really I'm using them for the 11% AR damage modified. And then on the backpack, I just picked up a couple other backpacks today that have 8% weapon damage. So I'll roll that over on top of the 7 just to get 1% higher. Um, but you see where my problem now becomes with using the the Hollow Man. The Hollow Man, because if I have this one equipped, and we go look at hazard protection is at 126. So
Mm.
I'm well
Yeah.
above, like
Yeah.
I'm pretty much invincible to anything that they're going to throw at me, short of explosives. And even then, currently explosives 16% resistance. I could go in and replace 1, 2, 3, 4 blue mods, and I could probably add 20 to 40% explosive resistance. Now I'm going to lose some of my armor, but I'll be more resistant to explosives. So again, harder to kill. Um, but I don't want to do that, so I have what I have here as this raid build, and then this raid build, which is going to give me still the unbreakable. So no matter what, in a raid, I'm using unbreakable.
Gotcha.
That's all there is to it. To
Okay.
me, patience and then unbreakable. That's for me. That's not for everybody else. Like when you're not, because you're talking about using an aces and eights build so that you can help your teammate, and you need that fourth piece to proc Sheriff's Hand, right?
Right.
So let's go take a look at your build here. So this fourth piece of aces and eights is going to allow you to proc everything for your teammates. Um, so you're saying you're going to roll over some other DTE on top of this so that you have, high damage to elites. That way you're still hitting the elites hard, because most of the enemies here are elites. There are no purples or reds. Well, there are reds in the Razorback, but they're just a few of them. They're basically all yellow elites, right? The critical hit chance is not bad at 6.5% there. Plus, you've got a mod slot offensive, so you can either throw in some additional critical hit chance or
Yeah.
weapon damage. Um, I would definitely switch out the vest for unbreakable or perfectly unbreakable, and then I guess the only issue is. So tell me, what do you see on your screen as far as reds, blues, and yellows in the under your gear score? Is it 16, 5, and 3?
Um, Let me go back.
Because when I look at your screen, I see, when I'm looking at your player, it looks like you have 16 reds, 5 blues, and 3 yellows.
Um, I have 15 and 4. So I
You got 15 red,
4
4
blue
blue.
and
Not with,
hold on. Hold on. It has 1 defensive, so it would give me 3. I'd gain 2.
So go ahead and put
I
in
only
the
gained.
perfectly unbreakable vest right now.
I'd only gained two.
So you
I,
may not be able to run
mm,
aces and eights. Oh, so you know what though? I had an aces and eights build with perfectly unbreakable and
I need a backpack, I
patience.
think.
You're just gonna
Oh,
have to.
patience.
I had patience on. Yep, I had patience on the knee pads, and I had perfectly unbreakable. Let me see if I still have
What about
that.
what about what about a Gilligard knee pad with total armor on it with composure while in cover 10%?
So I'll tell you what I did one day. I just started piecing different things together, like kind of randomly, and I bet you I deleted this shit, dude. I had an aces and eights build, but I think I deleted it because I did not have the space for the loadouts. That's why I was kind of recently here desperately looking for. Yep, I deleted
Right.
it.
But if I
So,
tick off the aces and eights knee pads, I'm gonna have to put aces and eights somewhere.
so you don't.
And I don't.
I guess it depends on what everybody else is running in the group as well. So when I was talking to the leader of the clan the other day, I asked him something about what the group needs, and he says just start. He told me to start working on an aces and eights build. So now that I've got my 3 additional slots, it'll be easier for me to work on an aces and eights. Um, what I would suggest is just start piecing together an aces and eights and try to use pieces that have not been recalibrated.
Right. Just to get
That's
my
right.
blues and reds correct.
Yep, just try to get there. And as a matter of fact, let me go over to the crafting table because I think if you have the blueprints, you should be able to craft a good portion of that. There's only 3 blueprints remaining that I need. So
Well,
yeah,
I definitely need the backpack.
I can
Um,
craft a aces and eights mask. I can craft a vest, a holster,
oh, I could craft the backpack. Look
and
at
the knee
that.
pads. So I can craft 4 of the 6 pieces. Let me see if I got aces and eights gloves.
Profile pack.
I got
So
aces gloves, and I got aces backpack. So look, I could craft a mask, a backpack, gloves, and a holster. And as long as it comes out in a certain way, I would craft. Then I would take my perfectly unbreakable or unbreakable, and then my patient knee pads, and then just recalibrate it in such a way. Just know that you may not get the weapon damage you want, you may not get the crit hit chance you want, but you're doing it for the rest of the team. The other thing you
right.
could do is, and I found this to be really effective right here. So I currently have this saved as my DZ Clutch 2 build. Now this is not, I'm so far away from perfectly unbreakable, but with the 4-piece True Patriot, I really kind of overlooked this for a while. I
I
don't
was
know.
thinking about building one of those
I
because
don't
I
know
got
if you have used it, but
it's
so
supposed to be pretty helpful for people in your squad.
yeah, red decreases, so the flag color is
Buff,
constantly changing over your
red,
player.
blue, and white.
Yep.
Red
So
decreases output damage by the ads,
yep.
right?
If it's white, it restores armor to friendlies that shoot the enemy that's marked white. And if
Right.
it's blue,
Blue,
it
health,
boosts skill haste to friendlies that shoot that
skill health.
enemy. So
I
it'll
got you.
help to refresh the skills. And
Gotcha.
then, like,
How come
the
nobody runs that in a raid?
I don't
Or do
know.
they?
I don't know. I think I haven't seen anybody run it in a raid. And then full flag. This is the really interesting one. So if let's just say we got a boomer in a room, right?
Uh-huh.
We got one, let's say we have 2 boomers, and if I can full flag each of the boomers And then if everybody else around there is hit at least once to have one, whether it's red, white, or blue, doesn't matter. While those boomers are full flagged, and once I've tagged everybody else, anybody that shoots those enemies that are tagged at least once will deal 50% damage to any of those nearby enemies that have at least one of the debuffs.
Oh, wow.
So like we were using this in the dark zone, and when I was hitting enemies, just I said, hey, look, wait till this guy comes out. I'm gonna full flag the boomer. I'm gonna tag everybody around him, and then just hit everybody around him. Take down the boomer last, and everybody else was just dropping like flies.
Huh.
Um, so to answer your original question regarding, well, what should I do with the mask? I would say have two loadouts for the raid. One is going to be with
Gotcha.
a bunch of hazard protection, and one will be a bunch of damage to elites and weapon damage.
Gotcha. That answers my question.
Where'd X-Ray go? He's out there trying to get his shade tech. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. So what I would say is, what I would suggest is just go farm in an area where there's a bunch of knee pads, and when you're getting these knee pads with patience, just save them. Then, unfortunately, based on the build that you have right now, you may not be able to make patience fit with the spark and the what was the other one? Okay. So you may have to get an unbreakable and a different spark piece of equipment and then just start over from scratch. So the best thing I can suggest is just farm the pieces, save them to the side. When you get a sec, go back, put them together, and then filter through the rest of your inventory and stash to say, oh, okay, no, you know what? I got a different pair of patient knee pads that'll give me the two blues that I need, and this other thing will give me what I need over here. Um, and it's the game that it's the constant grind. Hmm. It took me a long time to get to the point where I'm at right now, and then even with this build that I have on right now, I'm using clutch on the gloves, and clutch. I did not understand clutch until only recently, but clutch hits. Critical hits restore 20% missing health and
Right.
repair 1% missing armor. Requires 4 blue or less. So I can't. There's no way I can use patience with this. And in order for
Yeah.
me to have critical hits at a decent rate, I have to
You
have
gotta have
like
lots of
50.
reds.
I got right now. I got 54 and a half and 49.5% critical hit chance, depending on which of my primary or secondary weapons I'm using.
Now, tell me this. Um, let's see. Patience does what? Restores armor?
It restores armor, so once you get into cover, it takes 5 seconds for the armor to start repairing itself. But after 5 seconds, armor repairs itself at 5% per second. So
Okay.
basically, in like a minute, you'd be all fixed.
Right. So I could, if I use these knee pads, I can get one, two, three blues. But it's composure. 10% weapon damage while in cover.
So, but then that one you can only have like 4 reds, right?
No, composure 11 or more reds.
Okay, so that's a difficult thing to have. I mean, I have managed to put together a build here that has Nine. So that first raid build that I was showing you has 9 reds and 12 blues. So I'm pretty much at the max point of what I can do with this build because I'm getting the max out of my, being able to use Wicked and Spark.
Right.
I suppose I could use Composure if I wanted to, but I'd rather have Patience. The only thing that's going to make this build any better is if I find higher armor attributes that I can roll on top of already rolled armor attributes and or higher assault or weapon damage attributes that I've already rolled on top of other weapon damage attributes.
Yeah.
So again, I think going back to the point of even if you got to write down a list of things that you want, okay, write down this list. This is what I want,
Yeah.
and just farm that shit until you get it. Say that again. hmm You know, and I mean, I'm sure it took you a good amount of time to get to that, and so it's like, oh, earlier you were saying something about when they come up with Title Update 7 that, they're gonna kind of change the way that the gear score is gonna matter more. So right now, if I got this is 500, 495. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, are they going to start dropping? Yeah, like is this stuff going to become trash, and or is it going to be dropping a bunch of 450s, and you're going to see only 450, 460 for a long time, and then it's a rarity to get a 500. And I think it also, mainly depends on what kind of player do you want to be, what kind of build do you really want to have.
I really wish I had a complete set of socket wrenches. You never find the 5/16 when you need it.
I found that critical hit chance goes a long way. And even then, like, so the build that I'm running right now, I started it only like 2 weeks ago, and playing the DZ regularly, I was able to get myself where I wanted to be, as far as the build is concerned. There you go. We go back to the base of operations, and he's the first one on the left when you walk in the White House. Yep. Yeah, I'm surprised you had that much out there too. You guys want to go hit the DZ? Getting some shade tech.
Ooh, I think I can do it. It's only 3 pieces. Damn, for hours.
Hours.
Oh my God. I got a 3-piece aces with unbreakable, but someone told me that this won't work. Having unbreakable on my chest piece and efficient on my backpack.
Can't use them. I mean, you can use Unbreakable will proc, but Efficient will not.
Right. But that'll give me my 11 blues for unbreakable. But it's
If
only
it's
three
a
pieces of aces. I still need, uh,
if it's a
damn.
fresh piece of equipment, you could roll something off of there.
Oh, off of efficient?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I could. What
as
what
long
should I
as
what
uh,
what could I put
um,
on there?
so I would go look at the stats of your player and take a look at, is crit chance, crit damage, is it balanced? Even if it's low, is it balanced? Is it existent,
Yeah,
non-existent?
it
Weapon
it's
damage, health,
I
armor?
probably yeah, I probably need some type of weapon damage. But if I want to get efficient off, I'm gonna need something that's gonna give me weapon damage, like a spark. What else? I got so much damn spark stuff, it's crazy. Safeguard. If you kill a target, it gives you 150 bonus to repairing and healing effects. 5 seconds.
Nice to see you. On the ropes. My weapon damage is increased by 15% when skills are on cooldown. But it has to be all skills. I don't know how I'm going to get that. Need help crafting something?
Or
7. I need 11 for unbreakable. God dang. So I'd have to roll some of my health off to get. That won't work. I'll lose a blue. Defensive.
It doesn't matter which one to me. 14, 19, 18.
Oh, I'm all discombobulated now. Oh, God. Oh, my God. I'm all jacked. I got 300 pieces of gear.
I mean, I get it, you know.
I'm gonna have to mess with that. Oh, heck yeah.
I have a couple of chess pieces with like 20% headshot damage. And to be honest with you, it's like it's only valuable if you hit headshots. So I mean, like if you're gonna use Nemesis, then all right, go ahead, have at it. You know, I declined. I'll be ready in just a second.
Oh, too late.
That's all right. I'll join up with you in a second here.
My PvP build sucks.
I think the Unbreakable and the Patience is okay in the DZ as long as you're doing landmarks only. But even then, man, it still
You're
gets a little bit.
constantly.
These if I'm joining you right now. I'll be right back.
Safe area detected.
Oh. For my PvP build, I just have overlap, 5% weapon handling, recharge. Mine's a weak clutch build. So how do you, oh, Shade Tech. Does it show you? I don't see any Shade Tech. Gotta have Shade Tech. Shepherd status, that's what that means.
You still looking for Shade Tech?
No, I'm trying to see, how do you see it on
Oh,
your map?
um,
Oh, there it
so
is.
so
I got it.
some of it is exposed and some of it's not. As a matter of fact, I'm going to mark a waypoint on the map right now where I
Uh-huh.
found the last piece of Shade Tech over in West End, where there is a the Marina Supply Route classified assignment location. On the back of that building, there's a garage door that I did not know existed. And like you walk up to the door, it says press square to open it. I open the door, I go in, there's a fucking Shade Tech. It was the last one,
No.
and I found it using that website, division2map.com.
So you have to run that classified assignment.
No, no, you don't. You don't even have to run the classified assignment.
Oh.
It's in the back of the building. It's not even part of the mission.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I had like when I first did that classified assignment, I found that and like I was all in there, you know. Like I went around the whole area. I never came across the door, and I never would have. So, um, which DZ are we going to? Huh? All right. I'm fast traveling to you now, and I will be in there momentarily. I'm gonna fix myself something to drink.
Access complete.
I'm gonna try to go get that piece of Shade Tech real quick. I'm just gonna see if this one piece exists. I don't know, I'm just running through a bunch of trying to avoid all these ads. West End. West, all the way in the west side. What in the hell is this drone doing? What's it doing? There's, why, I don't know what the hell this is. I've done something to this build. I'm not gonna make it. I'm stuck. Shit. I can't get over there. Whoa. Huh.
All right, you guys at DZ South?
I'm there. I'm opening up the garage door right now. Oh, look at all this in here. Weapons.
Find it.
M44.
I'm traveling to you guys now.
Right here. One shade tech.
That's the only one that did not show up on the map for me.
You ain't kidding. Alright.
Are you gonna go to the? You're gonna go to. You're gonna go to the White House. The White House to get your thing to unlock your shade tech, your skills, perks, perks, perks. All right. Let's see. What did you say you were looking for earlier? Masks? Or no, you said you were looking for mods. All right. So let's go DC South. Whatever you want to do.
Mm, or mods, we can do. Oh, that's skill attachments in the DZ South. No,
Oh
it's
no, yep, that's right. Gear mods will be West Potomac Park. Okay. I'm gonna start heading over to the DZ West entrance.
me too.
Wait, what did you say? I mean, it's possible that you have the 12 loadout slots unlocked, but you just haven't initiated them from within the
Supplies
loadout
nearby.
section.
Yeah, because when I filled my seventh one up with that other raid build, it gave me an eighth slot.
Okay.
So I got at least 8 now.
Is which one is invaded right now? West? Sokolov.
Civilians in danger.
Oh yeah, you mean DZ resource? What's your total DZ resource at right now? I bought 2 items this morning, so I should be around 150.
Oh, I'm like 12 or 10.
I had maxed out at 300 over the weekend. I spent pretty much all weekend in the DZ. Oh, fucking walls. Come on, dude. I'm going to stop this broadcast and start a new one just for the DZ.